I'm from the
Same place as trap music, this that first react music. They can't hold me back, I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch.
Happy Easter to everyone out there, and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. And tonight, we will be smoking on struggle. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds, myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling?
Peace, God. Feeling pretty good, man. How about you?
Always thankful for another day. Beautiful, beautiful Sunday. We got Easter Sunday, the resurrection.
That's right.
So, you know, we're gonna resurrect.
Interesting word to talk about on the resurrection day.
On the resurrection, struggling. Yeah. Why? How so? Why so? Before we get into how my week been. How so? Would you like to exchange insights on it?
I'm just thinking about the actual being persecuted, getting crucified, and having to be dead for 3 days to rise again, right? Like that sound like a hell of a struggle. Like it don't sound like a struggle to God, but as a human thinking about that, it sounds like a struggle to me, right? No matter how.
Jesus was going through it. He was going through it. Jesus was going through it. Amen. Let the church say it.
You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think it's ironic, you know what I'm saying? But you know, that could just be my the way I see things.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. That's not too vast of a picture to paint, but but definitely always thankful for another day, as always. Like we said before, see a new sunshine, new sunrise, and man, week has been productive. We got some good updates with the family, and you know, and tomorrow we'll have some new discoveries, and everything being working better and better and better. And you know, we blessed and thankful and fortunate for that. So before we get into tonight's show, y'all, make sure to like and share this video. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Right now, we got subscribed to DBCHEFTV and win $100 cash going on from now throughout the whole year. Okay. Our next drawing will be the third Sunday of April, the third Sunday of this month. So y'all go subscribe at DBCHEFTV on YouTube and get your name in the hat. We're gonna pick a random person and give back. We appreciate your support. We thank you for tuning into our content. So we're gonna show love and give something back to y'all. So we appreciate it. Love. And also don't forget to head over to www.bksoulfarm.com and pick up your copy of 1016-160 Self-Sustainability by that brother right there, the God Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. Make sure y'all go get that. It is a tool that you need to have in your tool bag for life sustainability. Okay, so let's get into tonight's questions for struggle. So our first question of the night is, what do you think of when you hear the word struggle? That's our house question. Let us know in the live chat or in the comment section below, depending on when you're watching this. 2, does American culture romanticize struggle? If yes or no, explain. 3, is there a difference between choosing to struggle and forced struggle? 4, can holding on to struggle become an identity instead of a lesson, and why? And then last but never least, our fifth and final question: is the word struggle bad, good, or misunderstood? And like we always do, y'all, we answer our first question and then we go to the definition, and then we get to the rest of the questions, give you some flavor bombs. So y'all, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Stick along until we get to our last question, because that's what we answer at the end of the show. Is it bad, good, or misunderstood? Don't forget to smash that like button. And let's go to the guy Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm for our first question. What do you think of when you hear the word struggle?
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
So for me, I actually think that struggle is what I wrote down. I think that it's an early part of life. Like I literally think that struggling is biological, right? Like and I liken it to when I look at my grandchildren grow up, as I'm watching them grow up, when they was on their backs crying, they couldn't hold their heads up. They wanted all kind of things, but they couldn't express themselves. But they still wanted, and they reached, right? They got your attention somehow, and they let you know. I think about all the steps that it took to get them to roll over, to actually get onto their hands and knees, right? I think about the process of them steadying themselves on their hands and knees and actually making the conscious decision to say, "Hey, I want to move forward," and actually moving backwards, right? God, like I actually, I actually seen children like they crawl backwards because just because they don't get forward, you know what I'm saying, right? And
Or
then
scoop.
or
They
or scoop or like
yeah, they'll figure it out though.
like that whole process of figuring it out, right, is actually a struggle, right? Because if they had it, if they got it, then they wouldn't need to figure it out. They would just do it, right? It wouldn't be so scary and so hard to actually to walk, to go from that scoop and from your hands and knees to actually to your 2 feet and support yourself and let gravity uh not define you, but actually be the God that you are and generate your greatness, right? Um, like that's to me is an amazing thing to witness and to remember that that was actually me at one point. That was everybody at one point, right? So for me, that means that struggle has to be a part of the life cycle, so to speak, right? Because you have to learn, right? You have to grow into yourself, because it doesn't stop per se at childhood. Now that you 13, 14, you're a man now, and you don't struggle anymore, right? It's still a process, but the key is to, like, just you got to remember, just like with the babies, right? Like they remember their lessons in real time and actively apply what they learned, so that they actually were able to stand up and balance and take a step and not fall on their butt, right? Because that's really just remembering the lessons, right? Like we forget, like we've been walking for so long, we've been talking for so long, that we actually forgot the process that it takes for us to do this, right? We take it for granted, like it's just God given, so to speak, right? And it's actually something that you've earned, right? Um, I also think about struggle being a choice, right? When I think about growing up in lack, growing up in poverty, while I was in it, I can honestly say that I did not know that I was in lack. I did not know that I was in poverty. Um, and I really didn't have any great opportunities to be exposed to so many other things, right? So when I actually joined the military and actually seen other things, what I did was I made sure to go and run and tell that. I tell everybody that's willing to listen to me every goddamn thing I know. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like you could like there you like you don't have to keep doing that. Like not for real. Like you actually can make a choice to do something completely different and have a completely different experience. Right. See, because I didn't feel like I had that knowledge or that information, at least from a trustworthy or valuable enough source or a resource that I had that I can go to comfortably on a regular basis and be like, yo, and talk to regular, right? So I didn't feel like I had that. If I did, I apologize. I missed y'all or y'all missed me. Either way. I make sure that I'm that for everybody that's in my circumference, right? Everybody that know me know that if I know it, you know it too, right? The people that get good information, that get good counsel, and choose to ignore good counsel are making a choice to struggle actively, right? They're making a choice to struggle in real time. And, you know, and I'm cool with that once I recognize that that's a choice that they're making, even if they don't recognize it, right? Like once I recognize it, I distance myself because I don't want to struggle. I like when things just work out because I've prepared and planned and I've gotten good counsel. Right? It's not willy nilly out here because life is hard, right? Like but it says hard out here for a pimp. They made a whole movie about it.
Yeah, I don't know about a pimp because we ain't pimping
At all.
but I know for a black man, quit playing. Quit playing, man. Quit playing.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, so we ran down a couple of real key things. You said application of what's learned.
That's what babies do in real time. They show us in our face.
Yeah, application of what's learned is part of that struggle. And then you said choice too, and you said a lot of good things about choice. There was something that I wanted to ask you though, because I agree with the idea that when you share with people, like you said, you learn something, you wanted to share with people, you wanted to let them know, share like, okay, look, like I went through that.
Yeah.
Here is a way that you can possibly apply to that situation, and you definitely won't go through what I went through.
not what I went through.
And I understand that, but I understand it to that preciseness, to that level of whatever you give me. For one, I know you're only trying to help me. So you're not going to give me anything that's going to harm me. But we have this thing, and this is why I want to ask within that choice, within understanding that we have this thing in our culture where even if a person thinks that for a second, they let a mindset of, well, that's your experience, override the jewel, override getting even the piece that will help them, you know, put their puzzle together.
Yeah, that's the choice they're making.
So is that, of course that's the choice they're making, right? But is that rooted in struggle right there? Or is that rooted in just stubbornness? You know?
So I think those two things can go hand in hand, because if I'm looking at struggle in that scenario, in the baby scenario, the child that refuses to apply the lessons is gonna keep falling.
Okay, but let me say this. All right, so because I helped raise my sister, we got a whole decade between us.
Yeah.
So every time she used to cry, I would pick her up. Right?
Yeah.
And then my other family members was like, stop doing that. In my mind, I'm thinking, she not gonna stop crying if I don't pick her up. But as enough time went by, she stopped crying over little simple things that didn't require that I needed to pick her up for. Right. So even in that case, the child is learning the application of what's learned. I can't do this, right? And I'm not going to get the same result every time. You know, like even if I was, they was used to it, but then they changed their pattern because they realized that person's not reacting the same. I'm not getting what I wanted.
Yeah, they also learn how to manipulate at the same time.
That's cool too.
Yeah.
All right. But what I'm focusing on is where the struggle is, right? And because we went back to the baby. So like even in come on, walk. Right. So even like the holding of the hands first, when they first start getting their balance and you holding the hands to help them take the steps or whatever. All right. Like after a while, when they start bracing themselves and pulling up on stuff and not being scared to fall, and nobody saying oops every single time, making it dramatic, making it like, you know what I'm saying, like it's a fail. It's just like, watch what they do. And then they keep pulling themselves up because they see other kids walking around and they want to walk and everything too. All right. That's still the application of what's being learned. That's not saying on this child level, on this babe, on this infantile level. That's not saying, oh, well, that's your experience. Because they saying they want to walk too. They want to be able to move around
easily.
And, you know, they want to be able to do what they see other people doing in the space too. That is something that they find beneficial.
And
right?
and that's why that's why I took it back to the babies, because it takes it away from that's your experience, because everybody was babies, and everybody has had some experience. Not everybody, but we've seen babies. You know what I'm saying? And you got the again, those that take longer to apply the lessons to be able to walk, right? They get carried more, they get pushed in the stroller more, they get their butt spanked from frustrated parents more, right? Like it's
and I'm saying it's somebody else. What do we call that? What would we call that? Don't what is it? Is it encouraged? It's not encouraged. It's a word. It's a word that it's gonna come to me. But
it's kind of like coddling.
It is coddling, but it's like
no. I'm trying to think of the word you're trying to yeah.
You know, but when you encourage that behavior, like they still are encouraging that behavior. They supporting it.
Yeah.
You know, they are they are allowing that child to continue that behavior. They're allowing that person to continue that behavior too. Like nobody is being honest about the situation. Like, Nobody is saying like, okay, at some point in time, you're not gonna always be here for when that person fall. To you okay? Brush yourself off. Like that's gonna go away at some time. You're gonna have to be able to go out somewhere and fall and learn that okay, I gotta brush myself off and get back up. You know, so even from that space to as an adult, you know, if you have people who are enabling that type of behavior,
That's the word. Yeah.
you know, when you have enablers, then you're gonna have an enabler. Then you're gonna have somebody that's always like the coddle, that's always like making excuses for it, negative excuses for it, you know, because there's positive excuses too. That's why people go to school and they had to have an excuse in order to not get, you know, counted whatever for their attendance. So a negative excuse turns into enabling. And then that negative excuse that enable is like, okay, well, if a person says, well, that was your experience, that may not be mine. I'm just trying to give you a piece of the puzzle. Like I went through a certain situation, you're about to go through, you know, the same similar thing. So here's a little token, you know, that can help you when you're going through the toll booth. All right. It may not be all the correct change that you need, but this will be a start to get you through there. Now, the people will choose to do that, but they'll say that's your experience. So what they'll do is they'll take all of it and they'll apply it to that one piece. So it's like because you gave them some game to help them, like now they just lose all confidence in doing the thing all together.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah. So
and I'm like, are we enabling if we keep helping people like that? If you keep on pouring into people like that, you enabling, because I'm giving you all these jewels. I'm saying I can help you like this, I can help you like this, I can help you like this, I can help you like that. But then they don't never take their advice. They ask for it though, but then they never take it.
Yep. That's why I wrote a book, guys, so that when people ask me for stuff, I just tell them to buy the book, right? Because that's how you know if they're serious or not. Because everybody that's serious, they be like, "Yo, tell me where to get it from. Let me get a copy," and then we can have a whole conversation because they actually want to actually do something. But people that just want to waste your time, they just want to waste your time. But you know, like that's why I say, like even with the like because we don't have a culture. That's why I can always be, well, that's your experience, right? Because we don't see shared experiences in growing up or in similarities. We choose at this point, right, to remain individualized and to see my house is my house and your house is your house, not realizing that if your joint catch on fire, they close enough to where my joint might catch on fire too.
Like to not realize that we can act like this is a neighborhood or we can act like this is a community.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. You know, that's the difference. We can choose to act like it's a neighborhood or we can act like it's a community.
Yeah.
And that's going to be two different mindsets. That's going to be two different mindsets.
Right. And community, like those people want culture. Like they want cultivation of a certain kind of thing for this community, right?
For
like,
everybody to benefit.
Yeah, they want everyone.
For everyone to benefit, not just a few people, not just you, not just that person, but so everybody feels comfortable about their situation, you know, because everybody's vested, everybody has a stake, everybody is paying for their stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
because even with the child rearing example, you get so many different opinions on what you should and should not have done. and you get that because there's no culture for real. Like everybody's telling you their own personal experience, devoid of any backbone or foundation, right? So they telling you what they did when they threw a dart in the dark, and it landed on the wall, and whatever it landed on, that was their solution, right? Like,
but that's how they looking at your advice, though.
and that's how they looking at that's because
right?
that's
like
that's
that was your experience.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
and I'm saying that mindset is overwhelming.
Yeah,
the ability for people to share experiences, for people to get up out of struggles. That's why I pointed it out, God, because it's like that's overwhelming even the choice.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like I can think better than you, you know, like that's almost like where it's coming from. Like, who are you to tell me I can think better than you? But then if they do a measure of material, right, then their material wealth may not be the same. If they do a measure of the work that you've actually put in, their work ethic may not be the same. So then there's this resentment that builds up, you know, where it's like, is it more of a, you want to be the person, you want what they have, or do you want them to do it for you, you know, or do you just not want to have to do anything and you want to be where they at, you know? You know, it's like, it's all of these, you know, we get all of these things, and all of that stuff is a struggle, God. That's what I'm saying. Like, all of that is a struggle within. You know, that's what I think. That's what I think of when I hear the word struggle. You know, I think of these dynamics that play a role in why things seem to be so difficult, but we can break it down to a baby, and a baby gets it better. You know, the child scenario, the infant scenario is of determination in trying to get from one stage to the next.
Yeah.
The adult scenario, when we bring it into the struggle, is a lack of wanting to get from one level to the next.
But saying that you do.
But yeah,
it's literally the baby that stands up perfectly fine, got balance, can take a step, right? But it's because it's a wobbly step, they let that fear of that wobble just make them stand still, and they'll just point and cry and point and cry. And that's when they be like, nah, let his little ass cry. Like, if he wanted,
point and cry.
if he wanted, he'd go over there and get it.
Yeah.
Right? Because look what he's doing. Like, he's clearly demonstrating his ability to. So there's a block somewhere that he need to get over. And if it's fear, then maybe his thirst or his hunger, his or her.
put the food right here. Come on. You got it. Come on.
You want it,
it's
right?
Right here.
It's
right there. You can pull up right here. You can have all you want. Pull up right there, man. You know. And somebody has to do that. Somebody has to not, like I would do, like pick them up. They just pick them up.
That's literally parenting, though, right? Like, that's the people that got to do that, right? Like,
I don't want to hear the crying. Crying is an alarm. Was an alarm for me, like something wrong.
It do suck.
You know, like that's how it was for me. It was like, nah, baby's not supposed to cry. They're supposed to be happy and playing. You know.
You crying, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. You know. But definitely though, God, you know, I just see a total it's almost like a decline in the thought process as you know, some people are getting older, as they mature from what I would call, based on your example of the infant applying what was learned, that it seems like people mature and don't remember that natural thing.
Correct. Because it's too regular. Right. Remember the show we did on Regular and how those young ladies was describing and how they was, I can't say they was defining Regular, but how they was applying their meanings. Like it was just so basic and just so blah, instead of the foundation, go to the muscle memory, the things that you rely on, like your lungs, right? Like nobody think about that shit until you got pneumonia, that or until you got phlegm or something, right? Like you don't think about your lungs at all.
I mean, well, we do, you know.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying,
we organic, fresh, culinary culture. We got the Maline tea. We got some thyme. Throw some rosemary in there, some garlic, y'all. All you gotta do is boil them herbs. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and you can sip on that. You don't have to do it every day either. You know,
that is a
get you a couple times a month and treat you and do your body right.
Yeah, right. But that's what it is, man. Like, yeah, people. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, I feel like we need to get rid of 18 in a day, because like people got into this mindset of 18, you're an adult, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do. And what it looks like to me in my big age, that a lot of these people 100% want to still be at home living with their parents, and they don't want to say that out loud, because for whatever reason it sounds like failure instead of estate planning. You know what I'm saying? Or,
but you know why? You know why, God? Because most of the time it's not that.
It is failure, right? It's not estate planning. It's because they really don't. Because they really. That's what I was telling them. I was like, yo, there's a difference between taking advantage of an opportunity and looking for an opportunity, right? People that constantly looking for opportunity are lazy, and they'll do any and everything. But if you take advantage of an opportunity because you are in the right place at the right time and you are qualified, then you'd be a fool to turn down something that is meant for you, right? But if you're the type of person that's always looking for, man, I can take off today. You know what I'm saying? They need me at my job. I've been working 5 days straight in a row, so I can take off. You know, knowing that you only been at that job like 6 months, probably can't take off. They probably don't need you as much as you think they do.
I mean, it's a job. It's not it's not yours. You know.
Well, that's the first part. That's the first thing, right?
It's not yours. so you're gonna have to ask first. You know.
See, that's what I say, man. I think so many people really want to be a dependent. They don't want the responsibility and the actual accountability in real life. But because of the other things that they want, like they want to smoke weed in the house. So instead of not smoking weed in the house and going outside to smoke, they go get their own apartment that they can't afford to smoke weed in the house until they get evicted.
Yeah, that's tough right there. But like you were saying though, what it looks like is when it looks like the estate planning part, like what you was talking about, you know, because we talking about struggle tonight, y'all. Smash that like button. We smoking on struggle. And when you talk about like the estate planning, what it looks like, that looks like we not struggling. That looks like instead of whatever reasons I want to go and leave the house, whatever age I am, I say, okay, mom, dad, look, this is my plan, you know, and this is what I'm trying to do. Is it a way that we could do this together? Can y'all help me do this? And, you know, and now we estate planning, because now we going into business, because I probably either have a business idea that I'm bringing to mom and dad that I'm telling them why I'm still going to be around here, you know, and
that you also want mom and dad to benefit from. You don't just want to use, you don't just want to use mom and dad money and their credit. You actually also want to break them off.
We want to build a family business. Exactly. You said estate planning, right?
Exactly right, but I just want to make it clear, not just
For the people who don't know what estate planning is, for the
whole thing,
for the users, for the users, for the selfish users, you know, for the selfish users, yes,
not
you
just
know,
you don't just want to use their credit, they credit, you know, they got a 820 credit score. I can just use that real quick, you know.
nah, that's not the move. But what we can do is we can get you to an 822 if we have some type of plan that we're doing, whether you're trying to purchase a new property and you need us to help with that, whether we now and you have a desire for a real estate company or something, so you trying to pursue that and you working and we doing, so we got a plan, we putting it together, we putting the plan in it. That's not for you to buy it so you can just go smoke your chronic in the living room. No.
I told about I'm grown now.
Yeah, that's to say, okay, we're gonna buy this one. I'm gonna still stay at the crib. We're gonna go ahead and rent this out, y'all, and we're gonna get another one, and then let's do it boom, boom, boom.
Correct.
You know, and that's how, and that's now we estate planning. Now we doing
Correct.
something where it looks like the family is building together, you know, and the children aren't trying to just use the parents in the capacity what you was just saying.
Correct.
It's more so of a,
nobody feel like that actually.
And yeah, everybody knows that we gonna win. Like we got to put in this work, but we putting it together. Correct. It's no different from the corner store that you see that's ran by, you know, the family of Indians, East Indians. It's no different than the bodega that you see that's ran by the family of Latinos. It's no different than the Chinese food restaurant that you see that's ran by the group of Asians, you know. So and anybody else that we could put in that category where you see families running businesses that aren't, you know, they don't have to be Fortune 500, but it's keeping their fortune on 500, you know.
Correct. They got sustainability.
And that's the things where it's like we're struggling with that, even to get to those points, you know, in so many different ways, from a family level, from a peer-based level, you know. And it's crazy though. It's crazy that that we see this, you know, and then we seen at the UN, like they just not even gonna cut the check. It's like it's just like you know. And I'm saying, man, if that's what we up against already, like if it's just plain to see, like damn, now it's plain to see, like it ain't coming. It ain't coming. It ain't coming. So what we have to do is make better choices. You know, we gotta say, nah, fuck struggling.
Yeah.
Forget about it. It ain't the wave. But let us know, y'all. What do you think of when you hear the word struggle? We would like to know in a live chat or in the comment sections below, depending on when you're watching this. And yeah, y'all smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and bring up the definition of struggle, y'all. So let's go ahead and get that in here. So tonight, y'all, we are smoking on struggle. And we headed over to Merriam-Webster right now to get the definition of struggle. It says struggle is a verb. And then we have struggled and struggling, to make strenuous or forceful efforts in the face of difficulties or opposition. That's the first thing we get, to make strenuous or forceful efforts in the face of difficulties or opposition. And the guy Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm was kind enough to share with us a perfect example of efforts in the face of difficulties through his insights of application of what's learned, talking about toddlers, you know, and their efforts, strenuous or forceful efforts in the face of difficulty, to be able to walk, to be able to pull up, to be able to not be scared to fall, to fall repeatedly over and over, to get the balance on your hands, to push yourself up, to crawl and bump into stuff, and you know,
to learn how to fall correctly so you don't get hurt.
talk about it, God. So
All
I
that.
mean, all of those are put in there, you know, to get that balance. And we're missing balance, and that's the key, you know. Then we have two, to proceed with difficulty or with great effort. To proceed with difficulty or great effort. To be, to try to move something with difficulty. To see, to fight with someone in order to get something. To fight with someone in order to get something. 3, to be failing, to be doing without success. To be failing, to be doing without success. Struggling. Then we have struggle as a noun, and we have to contest, strife. 2, a forceful effort or exertion, an act of strongly motivated striving. An act of strongly motivated striving. A forceful effort or exertion. And then 3, to tussle. Any of these you want to
What?
talk about, God? Let's talk about it.
Yo, so first and foremost, I don't know if you seeing what I'm seeing, but everything about struggle, there's a goal at the end of it. Like there's a whole thing that a person is trying to accomplish in real time, right? So that requires action. Like you cannot be lazy. You 100% have to be in motion, right? Like everything about that. Like look at number 2. It says to proceed with difficulty or with great effort, right? Like it didn't say like you were stopped on your way through difficulty. It said to proceed with difficulty or with great effort. Like you still, it's heavy. You still going though. It's hard. You still going though. Like they yelling at you, but you still going though. They called you the hard R, but you still gonna win though. Right? Like hell, like to try to move something. Like you're trying to move something else, right? With great, like you still are trying to do it, like you're in motion. But like my favorite is what they say about failing, doing without success. Right, God? Like even like that right there, like you're doing stuff without success. Like yes, you might have a job, but is it a successful job? Is it a job that's paying you enough money to cover your bare necessities at least? Right? Is it a job that can secure a future for yourself and for your family? Right? Like, can you save money? Right? Like, yeah, you're doing stuff, like you are going to work. But is this job productive for you or just this employer? Right? Like that is a powerful to be failing, God. To be doing without success. That's literally almost like being on a hamster wheel, almost, where you just burning calories and with a smile on your face. Talking about, yo, I went mad far.
But don't we see people doing this? We see people doing this today,
Regularly,
you know,
regularly.
where people are struggling in a great example you gave with like their job, their careers, you know, and they saying, you know, I'm barely making enough money to pay my bills. So some people saying that they don't make enough to pay their bills. You know, I say you living beyond your means, but you know, then somebody would tell me, you know, well, how are you to tell me what I'm supposed to have in my life? And, you know, I get that, but I'm just like, if you can't afford it, then, you know what I'm saying? That's why you having a hard time with it. Just my opinion, and my own personal experience. But it's definitely without success because you know, because if I got paid and I paid some stuff, but I still owe some people, you know, then I'm struggling with paying my debts. You know, I'm struggling with getting people paid.
Yeah, right. Like,
so it's not successful at the end. And if I have to keep, if the only money that I keep, and that's in this example, if the only money that I keep is the money that I'm just gonna have to eat, like that's it. Like I don't have any other money to invest or anything else, you know, and all I'm gonna have is to eat. I can't go out, I can't do anything, you know, then if that's the way my life is designed and I'm cool with that, then that's fine, I guess. But don't complain about it, because then if you complain about it, then it sounds like a struggle.
Now you're down, and it sounds like a struggle that you're choosing.
That you are choosing, right?
Right, because like you said, like if that is your situation, if your funds can only stretch so far, right, then that's how far you live, right? You live within your means. But when they say, how can you tell me how am I supposed to be living? That's what I mean. Like if we had culture would dictate how you would be living, right? Like you would make sure that your job could cover your roof. Make sure your job could cover your lights. Make sure your job can cover your cable. Make sure your job can cover your groceries. Make sure your job can cover your transportation to and from work. Make sure your job can cover medical. Like if your job can cover those things at least, now you can start talking about vacations and fancy cars and diamond rings and gold teeth and stuff like that, right? Like once those things are covered, because once that's taken care of, like that's the hard part right there. Like those things
to get your necessities covered.
Like, that's the hard part.
To get your quality of life covered, right?
Yeah, but once that's covered, like it's kind of covered, you can just don't worry about that no more. And now you can worry about where you want to go on vacation, right? But until you get there, you should probably just focus on just making sure that your rent is paid and your mortgage is paid, right? Live within your means. Don't have a credit card if you can't afford to borrow money.
Yeah, people definitely need to check out that Bowls on the Table episode we got over there, called In Lieu of Cash Method, man, because credit cards, you know, the biggest thing is people think I got a $500 paycheck and I got $500 credit card. I got $1,000. No, you don't. You got $500. That's it. You know.
That's it.
And I don't know why we aren't teaching that way more often than less. But definitely to be failing, you know, to be doing without success. We always say here that, you know, if you fail, if you're trying, then you're not failing, because you have to be trying. So to try to move something with difficulty, you know, I see, if you're trying, then you're in the act of doing something. But this clearly says to be failing. You know, so if you without success, then you are failing. Okay. So this is where we have to begin to.
This is a powerful sentence, right? Like
define what success looks like, and success looks different for everybody.
Correct.
You know, and that's why I was going back to what we talked about with our first question, where people say like, well, that's your experience, you know. And the only problem with that is that I mean, there's several problems with it, but the biggest problem I see with it is that a lot of times people will take that advice and not as wisdom or knowledge on how to help the person navigate or not have to struggle as much in their endeavor, but they'll take it and completely just negate the success, the goal on the end, you know, and get caught up in your suggestion on how they should navigate through it, or your piece of the puzzle that you're giving them. You may not even giving them everything because you just like, you know what, it's some stuff that I needed to learn by myself so I can know it. But, you know, I'm going to give you these key focal points so when they come up to you, it's not unfamiliar. But then even in that case, like if the person gave you that, why would you think that when you're going through it now, you get to a bump in the road, you don't call that person and say, hey, I got to this bump in the road. What you think I should do with this?
In fact, you probably call somebody else and complain about the bump in the road that and ask that person what they think you should do.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's,
you know, or get to the bump in the road and then be like, ego kick in. Well, I don't need to ask you to do nothing. I'm gonna do this like this because I know I'm smarter than you anyway. You know, or they really didn't value the help that you gave them from the initial point.
That's what we talked about on previous show about needing to be qualified to give opinions and stuff, right? Because if the person that's giving you their opinion, if you don't value that person as a resource, then you're going to be in defense mode, and you're going to take their opinion as as criticism instead of critique, right? Or instead of something that is a help, right? You're gonna be like, you get that whole who do you think you are? But if it's somebody that you value, right, then you should only have what you said, right? Like take the parts that work and call me when you get stuck. Maybe I could do something or tell you a nugget or something. Or if it don't work, you know, throw out the parts that don't work, right? Like, and just move on. Like, I don't get it. But that's all. That's all just a lack of culture, though, right? It's hard to do any of this stuff if we don't start with just the same level of consideration that I'm valuing the person that I'm talking to. At least I value myself to be talking to this person, right? Like, I'm not just gonna waste my time in theirs. Like, it's actually important.
Yeah, and sometimes you will have that mindset, like it's important to you, but it really ain't that important to them.
Correct.
You know, because I know I'm a person who, like, if I'm going to waste my time on you, I'm not going to waste my time.
Correct. I don't even think it's a waste of time.
Yeah. If I'm going to spend time, if I'm going to pour some time into you, I don't look at it as a waste of time. Now, you know, once I realize that you want to waste my time, then I can't deal with you anymore because you are a waste of time.
Correct.
You know? And that's, you know, that's just how I have to be judgmental to be a better steward of my time, you know, and my energy. So we have struggle in the thesaurus, and it's given to us as in stumble, as in strive, as in fight, as in battle, and as in rivalry. So we go to stumble first: to proceed or act clumsily or ineffectually. Stumble, trudge, limp, blunder, flounder, shuffle, falter, lurch, sway, lumber, fall, reel, bumble, wallow, stagger, chamber, muddle, totter, welter, teeter. Then we have as in to strive, to devote serious and sustained effort. Strive, labor, work, endeavor, try, toil, slave, wow, tug, sweat, hustle, plow, dig, strain, travail, plod, bang away, hump, slog, plug, beaver away, dredge, apply oneself, peg away, grub, sweat blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, moil, attack, fag, buckle, exercise, exert, essay, drive, eke out, pitch in, dig in, scratch, hammer away, find out, wade, work over, knuckle down, trudge, put out, overexert, scrabble. Then we have as in to fight, a forceful effort to reach a goal or objective. Fight, battle, effort, fray, throws, attempt, scrabble, work, try. Pains, grinding it out, baby. Endeavor, to endeavor. We love that word. Trouble, toil, exertion, war, drudgery, strife, labor, conflict, warfare, combat, tussle, travail, contest, sweat, essay. Sent to fight. Then we have as in battle, a physical dispute between opposing individuals or groups. Fight, battle, clash, skirmish, tussle, conflict, scuffle, fray, contest, combat, brawl, confrontation, scrimmage, duel, dust up, a little dust up. We had a little dust up the other day. Altercation, fracas. Calm down the fracas, guys. Scrap, hassle, scrum, pitch battle, quarrel, dispute, battle royale, blows to blows, rough and tumble, spat, tangle, a little melee, got into a little melee, squabble up.
I like that squabble, yeah.
Wrangle, mix up, fist fight, controversy, row, grapple, slugfest, broil, affray, ruckus, fisticuffs, joust, misunderstanding, face off, free fall, Donnybrook, don't get Donnybrooked, okay? Falling out, punch up, punched out, don't get punched out either. Disagreement, crossfire, argument, ruction, tiff, cat fight, kick up, contemptuous. Oh no, that one. Contra temps. Contra temps. Okay.
Yeah, say it fast.
Okay, we can't say it that fast. Got a little southern, a little south from the south. Contra tips. You know, we can't do contra tips. We might put it off one day. Hand grips, argue bargle, angry bargy. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Argue bargy, or argle bargle. Where's that from? It's chiefly British. Argly bargly, argle bargle.
So they're barking at each other.
Argle bargle. So it's wow. All right, then we have third, as in struggle, as in rivalry, an earnest effort for superiority or victory over another. We have battle, rivalry, competition, conflict, duel, confrontation, warfare, war, contention, match, strife, contest, combat, clash, tug of war, ball game, showdown, grapple, dog fight, sweepstakes, face off, debate, dispute, friction, horse race, disputation, quarrel, collision, argument, controversy, discord, disagreement. It was a nail biter, wrangle, dissension, and row. And the opposite of these things are peace. Okay.
And harmony.
You saw that?
Yeah, I did.
You know. So.
The one thing that stood, a bunch of things stood out to me, but for what we do with this show, the word grind was on there. I want to say it was part of to strive, I want to say.
But we saw grind that. We saw grinding.
Right, and I want to say it was like the effort towards a goal.
It was to fight. Yeah. A
Yeah.
forceful effort to reach a goal or objective, to grind it out.
Right. Like, so this is a word they use on the street quite often. Like, yo, I'm on a grind. I'm out here grinding. I'm always grinding. And I think I think when people are using it, they actually think that they are making like great decisions, or like those decisions that's gonna actually pay out, when they actually just be hanging out, right? Like I feel like those are one of these words that we just use loosely for the fact that we're struggling. So we just say I'm on a grind.
Yeah, I'm on the grind. I'm struggling.
I'm
like
between jobs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you struggling.
And you struggling, so you just say you on a grind, and everybody associates that with you doing what you got to do.
Struggle. Struggling though, because it's not a forceful effort to reach a goal or objective. Well, you know what? Let's say this. Let's say it may be a forceful effort because it's a forceful effort to reach a goal or objective, right? And everything doesn't require a fight to get done.
No.
You know? So everything doesn't require force. It requires you to do.
And you got to mean it what you're doing, right? So that's what that forceful effort is about, right? Like walking is literally a forceful effort to go from standing still to defy gravity and put the foot in front of the other and keep doing it over and over and over again.
I mean, you learn how to ride a bicycle and you learn once. So
one time,
you know. So I mean, yeah, it's tough to get from training wheels to riding a bicycle, but like once you learn,
that's it.
You know, like you can get back on a bicycle, and you know, you can not ride a bicycle for 30 years and then get back on it, and yeah, you may be a little shaky, but give it a couple hours and you popping willies. You know, at least jumping off the curb.
I was about to say, don't do that.
Maybe not popping willies. You know, I'm not popping willies. You know.
Because I thought about it when you said it, I was like, "Shoot!"
I just had a flashback to my youth.
Exactly.
You know,
but then I put myself in my age, and I was like, "Nah."
Yeah, I wanted to psych myself out to not go try it at all. You know, but I definitely could. You know, I can ride the stationary bike pretty damn good. You know. Yeah. It's a little struggle though, a little bit on my knees, but you know.
But nah, man, everything about this struggle word requires work, bro, and effort, and to either stay in it, it requires work, right? Because it gotta be hard, man. To constantly be begging. Right, to be asking people all the time, like especially if we really don't want to, right? Like that can't be easy.
I don't know, God, because it seems that like culturally we've got in that position with reparations, and so is that just another symptom of slavery? Is this just another trauma from the slavery conditions? Because if we get into it, because like what you said specifically was just like getting into a constant state of begging. Okay. So like now, is it another effect? Is it a deeper effect? Because now it's like, damn, like not only is we begging for this, but then now we've reapplied even that mindset into our own. It's so ingrained that we won't even do nothing for ourselves.
No, it's completely different, and I say that because with reparations, we have no evidence of ever being repaired. To say that they got to keep repairing us. right? So with the other scenario of the people that don't want to pull themselves up by their bootstrap, you actually have evidence of people providing assistance time and time and time and time and time and time again, and the assistance never being enough assistance.
Okay, fair enough. But what's more foolish, to keep asking somebody
But
to help you who ain't gonna help you, or to not even appreciate the help that you get from the people who have been setting these examples, and you don't want help from them, and you seen them pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it a symptom of one? Like, is it a side effect, like a like a medication? Is it like a side effect where it's just like, but this is a cultural side effect because of the trauma from the whole psychological aspect of the slavery narrative from American history, you know?
I
Because
mean, I hear you, and I still say so. For me, like if they would have said the stimulus when they gave out stimulus checks, if they would have said the stimulus checks was reparations or whatever, right?
the two bands, the little, oh well, I mean, I
Now
guess
I'm talking about the act itself. I ain't talking about not how much it was, like the act itself.
I'm like, the two bands though. Like damn, damn God, I thought it was at least 50,000 with a I thought at least a little 50 ball with a, you know.
I'm talking about the act itself, right? You saw how they came with the one stimulus, and then people cried talking about they needed another stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came with another stimulus,
Right.
And then people cried talking about we need another stimulus, right? And that's what I mean, right? Like like it'd be different if reparations was like that, and they actually gave it to us and we cried, and they gave us another one and we cried, but because we have no evidence of them ever doing that, we do have evidence of them promoting begging after you get, and being lazy, right? Because they gave us a stimulus, and then people they used their money, and then they cried for some more money, and then they got another stimulus, and then they used that money, right? And then they cry for another. People still talk about another stimulus today, talking about they need a stimmy right now, and taxes. They talk about getting more money out of taxes because this is our opportunity. They treat that like a stimulus. And I ain't knocking it. It's just the thought process of how tricked people are on their own stuff, to where it's like, I don't know how we're gonna fix it at all, God, because some people just want to struggle, like people want to complain, people want to use and abuse, right? Like they lazy.
Yeah, people definitely want to use and abuse. That's definitely
The scammers are real.
that's definitely a social mindset nowadays that and I think people have been doing it for a long time, but it's a lot more people looking for shortcuts
Yeah.
than looking to learn what needs to be learned along the way to be able to maintain and have, that mindset that we always talk about. I think is a struggler's mindset that
Oh yeah.
that
I had it.
I had. Remember when I had that? Remember when I had this? Remember when I had,
That's the struggle I had, is a struggle mentality mindset.
yeah. And I don't do, like, I won't let people do that with me. Like, I won't let people, like, a lot of times, like, that's a lot of times why I don't even be going around certain people, because because their conversation will be that, and they know, and I already know, like, I'm gonna shut it down. Remember when you had that Range Rover? Remember when you had it? And I'm just like, bro, I done made so many new memories since that. I didn't did so much bigger stuff than that since that. It almost reminds me of where I left you at.
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I realized that not even nothing about them, that I just was still on my path doing what I need to be doing, you know.
You left them with them. You left them with everybody else that was there. It wasn't them specifically.
No, it wasn't like a purposeful, like
Nah.
I'm intentionally leaving you here at the stories with me and the Range Rovers and the Benzes and all that. Nah,
Nah.
I'm just like I'm just like, nah, like I'm nah, that was then. We did that already.
Did
And
that.
now we have, you know, more blessings in life, and we're better with them, you know,
I was
because
gonna say you got different responsibilities now.
yeah, you
Right.
know, and priorities. Like, and it's
Right.
not riding around in a house. You know, it's owning a few of them. You know, it looks different when you start doing different. But yeah, y'all. So let us know what y'all think in the chat, or the comment sections below, depending on when you're watching the show. We got shout out to a couple of the people in the chat real quick. Peace and happy Easter to the God. Sean McCray, 42, Dub 5. Peace, what up? And we appreciate you for pulling up, family. Our second question tonight: does American culture romanticize struggle? If yes or no, explain. Let us know, y'all. Does American culture romanticize struggle? If yes or no, explain. Let us know how, if you think so or no, or why. What you say, God?
Yes. And why? Because Black Americans are awesome. Our ancestors have taught this country and us that in spite of our struggle, in spite of our strife, in spite of our oppression, we will eat well. We will live well. We will dance well. We will sing well. We will make the best out of the absolute worst situation that we have, because that's what we do. And what has happened is it's been our pain and our struggle and our process has been monetized, right, by forms like hip hop, and taken away from us, to where now everybody around the world is taking a piece or pieces of the elements of hip hop that we cultivated over here, and using it to express themselves, right? And they're using it to express themselves to the best of their ability, in the same manner in which we express ourselves, right? And that's our struggle and our pain that is being projected around the world in a form of art and entertainment, right? By way of these music videos and the music and the movies and whatnot. Like I said, even with the foods, with the chitlins and stuff like that, like a part of an animal that you wouldn't naturally.
Is chitlins struggling? You gotta watch out, man. Some good country folk to watch out show now. They
Yeah,
still enjoy a bucket of chitlins. They still enjoy them chitlins with some hot sauce, a little vinegar or something on it.
I ain't knocking it.
About,
I'm just saying.
You know, we got hog on the wall now. We got hog on the wall. Nah.
I'm just like somebody.
We'll cook a slab or two, some baby backs. We cook it up.
All right, like somebody had to be in a situation where they had to figure out that, we need to clean these intestines out and cook these up too, right? Like that doesn't sound like a natural scenario where because it's not something that everybody eats around the world, right? It's something that was developed and then went around the world after the fact, right? And because if it was natural, everywhere they got pigs, everybody would be doing it, and it wouldn't be such a thing in my mind, right? But I don't know. Maybe they do it. I don't know. What I am saying is, I think the image of struggle here in America is Black people, and we are also the image of everything that's cool about America, right? So definitely that is them. What was the question? Exploiting or like, yeah, they definitely do it, and I forget the exact question, but it's definitely being done off of our face. Try to back up, go to it. Oh yeah, does America romanticize struggle? Yeah, definitely.
Does American culture romanticize struggle?
Yeah.
You know, we got Sean Mack over here. He said, yeah, if you're not from the hood as a Black man, particularly dangerous area, you're not tough.
Right. Like that's what they tell us, right? That's what we think they tell us, and that's how folks grow up in all right, like it's bad, man.
I don't know that to me though. I don't know. I'm a little whatchamacallit on that because I know that's the image that American culture romanticizes.
Yeah, that's the question though, right?
Yeah, that's the image that American culture romanticizes in hip hop culture. You know, but I think we see a lot of people, a lot of brothers coming from areas that I think this younger generation is not being put on them so much.
I don't know, man. It's a whole lot of
or maybe a group. Let me think this group. It's a group where that's not put on. We got like the young people that's like, let's say from 15 to 25 right now. All of their music, all of their favorite rappers, there's all drill music and everything.
Correct.
Right. So we got that group that's getting that romanticized struggle from, if you're not from the hood, then you lame.
Or they're getting that emo stuff where everybody's sad and talking about
feelings driven, you know. But I also get this group that wasn't ours. It's a group of people between, I would say, from 40 to maybe 28. I would say that group right there is the group that wasn't tough at all, no matter where they was at. That whole group was that whole group from 40 to 28, I would say maybe even just 30, maybe from 41 to 30. I would say like that whole group was just not tough at all. Like I don't even think the culture.
And if they were tough, they went out of their way to become tough.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
because of the romanticization of the American culture.
Yeah, like because I don't think that they was tough at all in that whole. As far as not saying that they was punks or no suckers or nothing like that. I'm saying that this romanticization of if you're not, you're a Black man and you're not from, like you said, a dangerous area, you're not tough. It's like you still wear this black skin and you still have the same struggles of a Black man wearing black skin in America. So when somebody see you, they don't automatically know your age. That's like we was talking about the other day when I was describing going back and forth to the hospital with my aunt
Mm-hmm.
and going through the Jewish community, and you see the people dress how they dress, and then in comparison, cross comparison to where if it's a black man walking down the street, like you don't know if he's gonna get, hey brother, is that an N word,
Mm-hmm.
or or hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your purse,
Yeah.
you know, like you don't know what you how you're going to be received, and that's culturally, I think that's culturally romanticized, so it makes it even for everybody. But I do think that like it's a generation that didn't get hit with this. If you're not from a particularly dangerous area, then you're not tough. Because I think that all of them people from that 41 to that 20 to that 30 age range, I think all of them just had to be tough. They just feel like they just had to be tough regardless. Because they was coming behind us. And we had the 90s where
In the 80s.
in the 80s, where it was like where it was cool to not be tough,
Yeah. For a while, actually.
you know. So that's why I think like that group right there didn't get hit with it as much, as it didn't weigh on them as much as it is now on these younger generation with all this drill music, you know. Because growing up, I ain't have to be tough. I ain't have to be tough. I have friends that play instruments. I have friends that did a lot of other stuff other than hanging outside fighting and trying to, be involved in foolishness. But I had access to no supervision.
Mm.
So having access to no supervision, put you in a situation where you're gonna be able to get into a whole lot of stuff as if somebody who had more supervision wouldn't. Because that whole generation from 41 to 28 is all that is that all of that is emotional.
Yeah.
All is that emotional. I mean, we even see it now from the younger, the 20, the 30 and below, the 30 to 15. We see it even more so now because they're killing each other over just words.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to kill you over words. Um, and that goes to that. This other comment. What do you think of the decent man in the city of demons? I mean, Will, in a city of demons, like you got to survive. So that's going to determine your level of decency.
Like if you live in the same community or same neighborhood as them
I'm
demons,
just saying.
I think if you're not a little demonic, I think you lunch. So you gotta move. I don't think you get to choose. Like I think.
Yeah, but I definitely think that American culture romanticized struggle with one of these things, one of these topics, like that's right on point with this right here. It's like this snitching thing, or who's telling. And right now they got a situation, real popular story, where the rapper Pooh Shiesty, held allegedly, but I mean the feds got the whole case. They saying Gucci Man, his CEO of the record label, at gunpoint, and him and his guys, they robbed some other people, and Pooh Shiesty was with his dad when this happened too, so he's also been arrested and charged and everything else.
Pooh Shiesty was with Pooh Shiesty's father?
He was with his own, yeah, him and his dad. Yeah,
oh, man. His dad.
Both were there. Him and his daddy. Okay. So, you know, there was a question of is Gucci Man snitching? Because
what?
Yeah, like there's a question, and it's just like
what?
To me, it's such a sucker type question, because it's American culture romanticizing the struggle. You know,
perfect. Oh my God.
Trying not to set a tone, a true line in the sand, and say, like, look, if people gonna do good and do business, and they ain't in the streets, we all know this stuff is fiction. The only people who rapping about doing crime is fools, and they actually doing the crime. And we see this because they keep getting locked up, or they keep getting killed, because they actually doing these killings, and they either going to prison for it, or they getting killed. You know, and that's it. That's the only. We don't see nobody, you know, sailing off into the sunset, into glory. All right. Everybody is a new trial coming up, a new story coming up. And if they're getting out, a lot of times they have cooperated. Okay. So drawing the line in the sand should be that understanding if a person raps about something, that should be cool again to rap about stuff that people's not doing. To be a artist, a poet, a storyteller. But to go back to how they romanticize and struggle is because it's like, okay, well, you got to have this street code. You know, you can't be snitching because you Gucci Man and you this and you that. And
you're supposed to be a real one.
It's like, bro, like he not in the streets no more. He's up several M's. He's not in the street. He haven't been in the street. He's not flipping no packs. He not, you know, doing nothing illegal. You know, you don't hear his name coming up in none of these wild stories and stuff like this. So why would you expect for that father, husband, businessman,
good citizen,
tax-paying citizen?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
why would you expect for him not to take the stand? Why would you expect for him not to say what happened?
Yo, anybody, I think this is what I think, bro. Anybody wearing Pooh Shiesties because they still name Pooh Shiesties, I think you guys are crazy. I think you're a sucker, right? Like, I think that they should change the name from that little mask to something different, because like that, like,
well, like, he didn't even capitalize on it because.
Oh, for real?
No, he didn't. No,
because never mind then.
Yeah, like, it's still the Nike baklava. It's not. It's called the Pooh Shiesty, a shiesty.
Oh, that's it. That's not even a.
No, he ain't getting no money off that. That's another bag he missed.
Oh man.
Yeah, true. It's a baklava first. You know.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but they didn't. But what they didn't do is what he didn't allow himself to do was capitalize on that fashion trend, because he pulled a robbery in Miami and got sentenced to, you know, however many years that he did, the Fed time, and then came back home and then pulled this. So he's right back in the Feds. Bad decision after bad decision, bad choice after bad choice. You know. And then here's another romanticization of the struggle. The narrative is that in his heart he was doing it because of how he felt Gucci Man had handled the situation with his cousin Big Scar, rest in peace, who was his label mate on 1017, the label. When Big Scar passed, they felt that Gucci Man didn't do enough for the family, and he handled it kind of petty. All right. But I'm like, you was getting ready to get paid though.
So he ain't do enough to almost kill him. Because what if that have went sideways and he to die? Like,
if who would have died, Gucci Man?
Yeah, like.
Well, you know, I don't do the what ifs, but this what I'm saying though, God, like that was enough for Pooh Shiesty to die already. Pooh Shiesty killed himself. He killed his opportunities, you know, and that's what we're saying. His daddy was standing right there. So like romanticizing struggle, you know, that's it's written all over that. It's written all over that. It's written all over make bad decisions even with your children.
Even with the children?
And like I told Cole C's on Brunch with the Fellas each and every Friday on Brunch with the Fellas right here on DBCHEFTV Network. Y'all make sure y'all check that out Fridays at 9 p.m. East Coast time. I was telling Cole C's and like as a dad, like what the dad gonna do? With like the dad could have made, he had a choice, yeah, but I'm like, he ain't really had no choice. He was there with his son and he was just like, I guess I'm just gonna learn this lesson with my son. That's what because he had to know that it was wrong. He had to know that it wasn't no coming back from that. He had to know this is not going to end well. I'm thinking he been in the streets long enough. He been doing dirt long enough. He been making bad choices long enough that he got to know this ain't.
Oh no, man.
You know, and that will pull us to our third question. Like, is there a difference between choosing the struggle and a forced struggle? Because it seemed like they chose that struggle right there. He wasn't forced to do that.
So I'm gonna say that so because you know if we choose to go with the story, right? Our ancestors was kidnapped, stripped of a thorough knowledge of self, and bred on plantations here in the hills of North America. That struggle was forced on us.
Absolutely.
That mindset was forced on us today. It proliferated and traveled through the genes of our daddies and them into us, right? Like that whole epigenetic thing. Like, so that struggle was forced on us. Where it becomes a struggle, though, is when you do have an opportunity, and better options, and you choose not to exercise it, right? You choose to remain where you are because you're comfortable doing this, whatever this is. You're comfortable doing that, and complaining. Like, you actually think that is living. And I think that's where the choice to struggle becomes, it stops being forced and becomes something that you just want. And you just got to really not want it no more before you can not struggle no more. You kind of just got to want to enjoy life and decide that you want to get you a good job so that you can enjoy life. That's what I think. I think that, you know, there's definitely a difference, like forced struggle. You know, we all have to pay rent to somebody. right? We all got to pay utility bills and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we're not even gonna take. I can't even take none of this handsomeness with me. Like
you know what I'm saying?
like nothing. It's just all of this will be left here. All of it. All of it. You know, none of it's coming with me. You know, maybe not even a memory of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like
so
yeah, that's what I said. But like when you choose to not exercise other options or better options or opportunities, then yeah, those are choices that you're making. So that makes it a difference, because you can be, like I said, like before I joined the Navy and actually left Brooklyn and left America and actually saw different things. I kind of really thought I kind of really thought that New York City was the whole planet. I thought that was America, bro. Like I didn't need to go no place else. So I didn't even know how much I was lacking, because I thought I had so much already, right? Because of how much is in Brooklyn alone, and not to mention the rest of the boroughs, right? Like it's so much.
That's typical New York mindset. That's
everything and everybody right here, guys.
The whole world is in New York, B.
They right here, like it's right here. Like, how we not the planet? Like, come on, son. Like, how we not the planet? Everybody's here.
I get it. But definitely there is a difference between choosing the struggle and a forced struggle. And I strongly agree. I think that we do that. I think that you know, the example that you gave of, that's a perfect example of being forced into a struggle, accepting terms and conditions of things that you have no control over. But choosing to struggle, when you do realize that you have a choice, I think it's difficult for people to realize that they have the choice. And I think that's what we're seeing when we go back to that's your experience. People not realizing that they don't have to struggle that way. And even like you made the comment earlier, was talking about, you know, we pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps. Yeah, like everybody has to do that. I'm under the impression now that, you know, with all of these, at least in today's world, you know, where you got white men like give us back our rights, and you know, like we live in crazy, like it is crazy out here. It's like, you know, even the white guys are like, hey, we're white guys, what's going on? You know, like, you know, so I'm looking at it like, so like people don't even have struggles. Some other people are being forced to struggle too, though. Like, and that's why I look at it, because the choosing to struggle part is just saying, okay, I'm going to allow myself to just be stuck on what I'm forced to struggle with.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's where I'm just like, we got to make better choices, and we got to identify that we're struggling with something, you know,
and be honest.
Yeah, like be honest about it, and not be scared to be vulnerable and say, like, you know, I'm having a hard time, I'm having a difficult time, I need help, I don't know, I made a mistake and I needed to correct it, you know, like, how can I, and then being wise enough to go to the people that you know will help you, that genuinely want to see you win, you know, and then put your own egos and your own insecurities to the side, to say, I'm not going to go and compare myself to this person asking them for help. I'm going to go ask this person for help because I know that they love me for real because they already exemplified it, and they're going to help me.
And they're going to help me. They're going to give me the information that I need to benefit. They're going to help me. Yep.
It's crazy though. It's crazy. But moving on to our fourth question, y'all. Let us know what y'all think in the live chat or the comment section below, depending on when you're watching the show. And make sure to smash that like button, y'all. We appreciate y'all when y'all do that. Can holding on to struggle become an identity instead of a lesson? And why? What you think, God?
Yes, it can. Holding on to a struggle can become an identity instead of a lesson. And my example for why, I'm going to use the Holocaust. That's a struggle that we're not allowed to ever forget, that defines a group of people. And this is kind of a perfect question, right? It defines the identity of a certain group of people, so much so to where we are not allowed to ask any questions that may sound like they might have caused or helped or had anything to do with what happened to that Holocaust. They can't, like, you can never ever say, what did the Jewish people in Germany do while all this was going on? Why didn't they flee? Why didn't they do this? Why, like you can never learn from those lessons because you're not allowed to talk about them. You can only identify the struggle to the people and feel sorry for them. Right? We're not allowed to learn the actual history of the interaction for real, from both perspectives. It's from, at least from my perspective of what I think I know.
They're not teaching it in school. It's not part of the school curriculum to teach. You get the Anne Frank story, that's been part of the school curriculum for a long time. Everybody remember. I remember Anne Frank hiding in the attic. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it isn't. That's one story in your history class. And it's not like a whole month of Black history.
Correct. Right, because even with but even with the Anne Frank story, right? Like, at least I remember her hiding in the attic. That's what I remember about that story. Like,
yeah, they had to be quiet. They had to be real quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like all the time. It was dangerous. They could come down every now and then, but they had a lot of times where they had to skate back up there, and a lot of close calls. I get that, but they don't teach it. That was to your point. Like, it's not taught. We don't learn the history of the Holocaust. We don't, because it's not a part of American history, and that's the reason why they don't teach it. What they do is they teach American slave history in the public school education systems to make sure that we continue to learn it how they want to teach it. There's this thing where
that's a fact.
Where there's this thing where people are saying that they have a problem with slavery not being taught in the public school systems again. So it's a tug of war. Some people say no, we should keep teaching it. Some people say no, we should remove it. Well, based on that, if there were enough Black people, African American people, families who still valued the story, because there are plenty of black families who don't talk nothing about it at all. None, never.
Correct.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason. I don't care, you know. But if we had where we had control of the narrative like they do, and that's the difference. The reason why one is not American history, so it's not being taught. We get an Anne Frank story so you can know about it or whatever. But they're teaching their history in their own schools and in their own curriculum, how they want to have control over the narrative. Their narrative is not being taught to them about the Holocaust from a how do I word this?
I know, right?
From a colonial interpretation of Western slavery in America. All right. So because it's being made that way and presented that way, then a lot of times the stories when we tell them, when you go and listen to the griots, you know, and you listen to all of the gods and all of the different teachers and everything, it always out there because of going to church, it sound preachy. Because of the passion and the conviction and the hurt and the trauma from not knowing it for so long, from not being able to share it and then wanting the urgency of it, like when somebody's yelling at you to get out of fire, you know, when there's a fire and somebody's trying to get people out, they not saying fire, 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 fire. No, they yelling, it's a fire, fire, fire. Y'all get out of there, get out of there. Come on, y'all move, everybody. Hey, it's a fire over here. Somebody, you know, so you have that passion, you have that level of care that's going into it. And plus, naturally, you know, when black folk talk, they get a little, you know, it might get loud every now and then. That don't mean that it's chaos. You know, that don't mean that it's necessarily a fire. It could be the fire of the conversation that is just, you know, raising spirit energy so that way we can understand what we got going on. So it takes a level of that to be able to get to that before we can even, you know, break down before a person can even get the lesson out of it. But that's why I think they don't teach, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think they don't teach Holocaustal history in the American school system, because it's just not a focal point, and the Jewish community controls their own narrative.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't appear that we control our own narrative. And it doesn't appear that we even have interests beyond like us doing shows like this and a few other, you know, shout out to Brother Rich over there, 363, and a couple other people, you know, and everybody he have on this platform, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how we do that. And it seems like that's the only where you can get a type of conversation where people will be trying to figure out these things, have some solutions to what's going on, and not be struggling with these identities that have been force struggled on us. You know, where you can now begin to get a lesson, you know, instead of saying, you know, these real, like we see right here, you know, these N-words choose the streets and rep over real life. I mean, well, that's a problem right there, is that because that's a forced struggle on us, that word. For the women to be proud of themselves being called bitches and hoes, you know, no matter what adjective they put on the front or the end of it. Like, it's a problem with that, even with using the N-word, you know, whatever adjective we put on the front of it or whatever now or whatever we want to do to dress it up. that's still one of them forced struggle things that like it's becoming identity instead of a lesson. And we see the whole community holding on to it. So I'm saying, like, you know, what do black people choose to rep over real life?
I think black people are dealing with real life in real time.
You know, because I'm not concerned with the N words, the B's, the hoes. I ain't concerned about what they got going on. We not over there. If I was over there, then that would be a problem. I couldn't be where I'm at right now, being responsible enough to be responsible for other people, for elders. You know, because I would be too busy doing, you know, N word. I would be too involved in ignorance, holding on to a struggle as an identity. Oh, I'm a real this. I'm a real that. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and blah blah blah. Not looking at other people around you. That's just like how far you think you're going with that. Unless, you know, we all going to go sometime. But unless you know, you want to get there sooner or you prefer prison. And I'm like, if you enjoy prison, you should say that. I would respect the person that does crime and just say, I like going to jail. But holding on to the struggle as an identity keep you in the same place, going through this, making the same mistakes over and over and over again, never getting the lesson.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I think we gotta do better, y'all. We just gotta do better. You know. So let us know what y'all think in the chat or in the comment section below. Can holding on to struggle become an identity instead of a lesson? Why y'all think so? You know, why not? Do you think not? Is it, you think we too much with it? You know, like struggling is cool. You know, do we got it wrong? You know, do we just is struggling not, you know, not so bad? You know, and we looked at the definition, y'all, but you know, but we know that everybody have a meaning. But this universal meaning of struggle is negative. Hip hop has made the struggle. Yeah, people say the beautiful struggle, but they still talking about going through a whole bunch of hard times.
The beautiful struggle.
They still talking about going through a whole bunch of not learning lessons the first time, not desiring to self-improve and stay improved. And improve again off that one. Take that level and stepping stone it. Yeah, step it up another notch. Oh, that's what that mean right there. There's beauty in the struggle because you appreciate all you have to attain. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if everybody look at it like that. Because a lot of people in that struggle are hatters that say it's beauty in the struggle are comfortable with saying I remember when I had. We used to. And I'm like, it's beauty in still being able to.
That hatters thing, man, that's That right there, that's something that folks gotta reckon with right there. Because to say that you have something is super corny, right? Because you should still have it, right? Why don't you have it anymore? Why you not talking about that? Because that's what a lesson is. Not that you had it. The lesson is why don't you have it anymore?
The lesson is why you don't have it, right? It's absolutely the lesson. Why you don't have it? You know why? Because I couldn't afford it.
Right? Because you know why that's the lesson? Because once you realize that that's the lesson, and you actually start applying the lessons towards your goals, like you will just stop struggling, and you would actually get somewhere, right? Because you will apply.
This is what not to do to reach my goal. This is what not to do. You know, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to help me.
Yeah.
So if I keep doing this going to keep hurting me. I know it is. And that's the lesson.
That's the lesson.
Don't matter if I can't afford it, if it's a bad choice, if it's not working, if you know, like, it's so many different ways that lesson can present itself. But you gotta identify that, man. You can't be like, man, fuck it.
You know, I ain't tripping.
I ain't tripping. YOLO.
Yeah, that's been my new thing lately. I've been talking to people, and they be talking about they be in bad situations. They be like, man, I ain't tripping. I'm like, why not? I'm like, yo, man, if I was in that same situation, man, my stomach would be inside out right now. Like, I don't understand how y'all be struggling and not tripping. Like I need to get up out this struggle. Like I would be up at arms until I'm no longer struggling because it bothers me. But they convince themselves. I think just that talk of I gotta keep talking myself up, not realizing that these words, because we don't understand, like we're not using the definitions, we just applying our own selfish meanings to them, that we are literally talking ourselves in circles and digging our own grave right where we stand at because we're not doing anything. Like we are literally doing things with no success. To me, that is doing nothing. Even though you are technically doing something, right? But if it's hurting you, if the thing that you're doing is gonna hurt you in real time, if it's gonna hurt you in the long run, if it's gonna hurt, like if it's not progress and it's not success, then it ain't it.
Then it ain't it, right? Because it did say that was part of the definition.
That's part of the definition.
Right. We got shout out Christopher McCray in the building, 9604. We got to struggle is to evolve, evolution is inevitable, but to let the struggle define your existence is being blind of the progress being made. That's a beautiful meaning, but that's not the definition though. That's a beautiful meaning though, but we all have these meanings that we apply to it. And that's a dope one that'll actually help. You know, that's better than I've heard some people say, you know, because you might actually get somewhere with thinking like that.
Right. Just actually has like a whole plan right here.
Yeah, you know, you might actually, you know, that sound right there, like, hey, struggles to evolve. So you got to go through something, learn some lessons, right?
Yeah, because you want to evolve, so you're trying to be better.
Right. You know, so definitely. But when we rock the definition, one word that was in there was progress in them synonyms. So, you know, in fight.
Yeah.
You know, so you definitely have to be going from one place to another because that definition says specifically the one that we talked about with or failing, and failing to be doing without success. To try to move something with difficulty, to proceed with difficulty or with great effort. So you're trying to go from one place to the next. Struggling is not about being stagnant, about staying in one place.
At all.
You know, it is
At all.
You know, so being in love with the struggle, or saying, man, I'm down with the struggle, means that could mean that you are okay with being in that one place. Because if there is no success at the end of it, then you're just stuck in that. I don't know. Let us know what y'all think in the chat and in the comment section, depending on where y'all watching this at. But we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's flavor bombs, y'all. We are smoking on the word struggle. So we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's flavor bombs. Flavor bombs presented to you by DBCHEFTV. Okay, y'all. So we got Artemis 2 Moon Space Voyage 2026. If y'all didn't know, they be sending folks back to the moon, and we got a nice video to watch over that. We got this spring break right now. They saying teen takeover chaos across America. The teens are taking over. And then we have a story, y'all. We're gonna go across the pond, all the way across the pond to Russia, where it was a woman that says that she left the U.S. for Russia to escape discrimination. And
she went to Russia?
Let's not laugh so soon. Let's laugh now because it's not funny. But we can go ahead and laugh now. We're gonna cry later, but yeah, she left she left the US for Russia to escape discrimination. So we're gonna take a look at that, and let's go ahead and jump into this, y'all.
Good afternoon from the Space Coast of Florida, where 4 astronauts are about to suit up for NASA's boldest test flight in a generation.
Our goal is to pursue the secrets of the universe, to change the world in air and space.
We have a ton of people gathering around the world to watch this history-making moment.
This crew cohesion, we're at the point now where we are ready to go fly.
I've had shivers run up and down my spine a number of times.
This mission is an opportunity for our
pilot Victor Glover, that is a brother. Pilot Victor Glover is a brother. Remember that name, y'all? That's history right there.
That is it. We looking at it right now.
This history we looking at right here. Black. This is April. We still making history in April. Okay. So Black history, just in case y'all didn't know, Black people make history every day. All right. Shout out to pilot Captain Victor Glover.
generation. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity.
The question isn't go or not go. It's are you going to lead or are you going to follow?
This crew could be the first humans to journey around the moon in more than half a century.
The Artemis 2 crew is go for launch. Full set.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Artemis and Artemis 2 remind us that our greatest chapters are yet to be written. Well done. Go Artemis 2!
The point is the end game. The moon
has now become the center, the focus of this mission.
Artemis 2 is the first step in a sustained presence off of planet Earth in deep space. And if we are successful in doing that, I think Artemis 2 becomes just that first little teeny tiny curve that we stepped up on this really long journey.
That says animation right there.
And this view on your screen, that is Earth in the center of your screen from the Orion spacecraft. Again, a camera mounted aboard the spacecraft's solar array wing, looking back at all of us.
Okay, this is Earth right here. Is this a dome? Or is this a sphere? Which one is it? They said we looking back at it. That looks dome-ish. That look like a dome. I don't know, man. I don't know what these I'm not a flat earth theory person, man, but I don't know, man. I ain't never been out there. And then the other stuff they just showed, the circle, the whole sphere was animated, but this supposed to be a real photo. So is that the sun back there? Is this the dome? I don't know, but
no, I think that's just the reflection, like the whole crescent. Instead of a crescent moon, I think that's like the crescent Earth.
Yeah, all right.
I think that's what they trying to say.
Earth.
I think that's what they're trying to say. Yeah.
How do we know that's not just the dome, the sun's reflection?
Oh no, God, I got a million questions. Right, I'm just trying to answer that specific question. Right, I'm just like
where's Neil deGrasse Tyson? That's when you need him at, man.
Like like for me, God, like I just wish that they would have did this moon thing before AI it got to where it got to right now. Right, because AI is enough AI today to where they can do these animations.
they can just run a whole play, a whole Disney movie, and we don't know nothing about it.
And we don't know, right? So because that was dope to look at. I ain't gonna front. Like the whole editing and the boom boom.
Yes,
I was like, damn. I can't be no astronaut, man. You saw how tight they was. Like, you got to sit there. And it's like, nah, I can't do that. But at the same time, all I can think of is I've always been the person that I remember. I feel like I remember watching the Challenger blow up. I remember seeing that on TV, and I feel like every time we tried to go back to the moon or try to do something with the moon, it was always an issue. So I'm like, man, until we go back, I don't necessarily accept the fact that we went there in the first place. Right. So, and now that AI is AIing, they all of a sudden can go back after all this time. Like, it's strange, right? It's
strange, but we're gonna,
but that was a dope video, though. That was
super dope.
That was a dope video.
I mean, if I was a kid, I would have wanted to be at NASA with my popcorn and my
I kind of want to go now, like to see.
Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah, I would have loved to been at the launch. I would have loved to been down there and down there right up the road from where they at Rockledge, where they at Clearwater, somewhere down
Clearwater,
there. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it from the crew.
Apollo 8 had a memorable Christmas Eve reading from Genesis. Do you have a message you'd like to share from space about Easter Sunday?
I don't have anything prepared.
Hold up, y'all. That's pilot Victor Glover, history. All right. And he said he don't have nothing prepared on this Easter Sunday, but I think he's going to go ahead and bless the food.
I'm glad you brought that up, though. I think these observances are important. And as we are so far from Earth and looking back at, the beauty of creation, I think for me, one of the really important personal perspectives that I have up here is I can really see Earth as one thing. And, when I read the Bible and I look at all of the amazing things that were done for us who were created, it's, you have this amazing place, this spaceship. You guys are talking to us because we're in a spaceship really far from Earth, but you're on a spaceship called Earth. that was created to give us a place to live in the universe, in the cosmos. I think maybe the distance we are from you makes you think what we're doing is special, but we're the same distance from you. And I'm trying to tell you, just trust me, you are special. In all of this emptiness, this is a whole bunch of nothing, this thing we call the universe. You have this oasis, this beautiful place that we get to exist together. I think as we go into Easter Sunday, thinking about, you know, all the cultures all around the world, whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing, and that we got to get through this together.
Oh yeah, we gotta get through this together. And what is he talking about? He talking about life, existence on the planet.
Talking about the struggle.
He talking about the struggle, right? Amen, brother. You know, but definitely shout out to Victor Glover, you know, because yeah, we salute, man. He said he had another comment. You know, I think he is the philosophical, you know, we always
told you so, like
we got the creative.
We're relatable.
Yeah, we got the creative thing, the juices and all that good stuff. And he said the first time that they spoke with him, he had something, and that's probably why they asked him to speak on Easter, is because he said we got to put our differences together. Not put our differences aside and come together. We got to put our differences together so we can do better. You know, and that's why I picked out all the clips. Plus I'm biased. It was a brother, and you know what I'm saying. And he in space. You know, he going to space for what it's worth, whether it's AI or whether it's real.
I'm accepting it.
Yeah, he's still gonna be part of American history. He still will look like me, you know, and represent someone who looks like me when they give him his statue or whatever at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, you know. So so shout out to them. We hope they make it back safe and everything. And whatever they discover, you know, we hope it's beneficial for everybody on the planet, you know, not just a special group, even though that's wishful thinking. But shout out to them on their journey, and shout out to the whole crew, Victor Glover, more especially.
Yeah, more especially.
We got a hello from Norway. Shout out Paul.
From Norway.
From Norway.
Dope.
And Sean Mack say, one planet, why the hate? Well, you live here too with us, so you know why, bro. Thank you, Vic. Yes, indeed. And then he says, do you think you are above the dome?
That's a flat earth.
I don't know. If I think I'm under the dome.
I think I'm on Earth. That's,
you know,
that's in space.
Yeah, like I just don't even. You know what, Paul? I know one thing. You can't take nothing with you when you go. So you know, so I don't even really worry about being under a dome or over a dome, or if it's a sphere, or it's a globe, a flat thing.
I like the elephant. I like the turtle idea, being on the back of the turtle, though. I like that. That's
cool too, you know, but I'm not, you know, what I know is you can't take none of this when you go, like nothing, you know. So I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that. That's what we dealing with. That's the only thing that I know is for sure. I do know on this particular Sunday, they came for Jesus, but he wasn't at the tomb. So there ain't nobody never seen Jesus' body. So that's something that we know. We need to ask that question to the religious council of the world, to the Christian council. What happened to Jesus' body? Ain't nobody get to see it. except for the people who came and got it, and they don't even have a book. They don't even have a chapter saying that they came and got the body or nothing or what's going on. They ain't get to tell their story. They just came and got their man and rolled out. It was like,
but you know, like a whole bunch of books was taken out the Ethiopian Bible, though, right? So it's like
of course.
The rest of the story was over.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's bits and pieces from here to here.
You know what I'm saying? And then,
but I just wanted to give my God some praise. That's all. I love and fear God. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Right.
We know what he will return for sure. It's written. Yes, it is. What up, cuz?
What up? What up?
And then we got with it. In the book, it says he was buried. Okay. We still ain't seen the body. And that's all I want to do. I want to see the body.
Not for nothing, though. I did stand online and go to the tomb. I paid $25 and stood in a line for 2 hours.
And did you see a body?
I ain't seen no body, guys.
Okay, so they took your dub 5.
My dub 5. I was like,
they took your dub 5 and 2 hours away of your life.
I was feeling like a whole victim. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, I mean, Jesus was a cold brother, man. I just wanted to, just wanted to see an esophagus or a esophagus or something, whatever you call that thing.
Now to a nationwide trend known as teen takeovers, a kind of flash mob for a new generation. Lots of kids showing up in the same place at the same time. But police say it's a mess and sometimes it turns violent. CBS News correspondent Jason Allen has more.
Sheriff deputies sprinted to break up fights as teenagers swarmed a trampoline business near Tampa.
Just a teen takeover.
In Chicago, teens raced up streets, running on top of parked cars. In Jacksonville, teens could be seen attacking each other right in front of law enforcement.
No, we have a place for people like him.
At another Jacksonville takeover event in February, 5 teenagers were shot. Organized on social media, a wave of spur-of-the-moment meetups has been creating chaos in American cities and has even spread overseas.
Is it advertised as a let's come cause chaos?
For the most part, yes, that's what it appears to be. It's bring your drama.
In Mesquite, Texas, police keep a close.
He said they advertising it like bring your drama. No, they not.
Die on social media for posts advertising the teen takeovers.
When police found out that there was a takeover planned here, they started adding more resources like this, visual deterrence to let kids know they're watching, and it worked. The takeover didn't happen.
Lieutenant Michael Kelly warns these incidents can overwhelm law enforcement and turn dangerous very quickly, like this recent one in a neighboring Texas county, which ended with damage to cars and 3 arrests.
So if they're doing it in a public place, is there a risk to just the general public too?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why we have to be out here, because we have to maintain safety and security for everybody.
Police say they're tracking the trend closely, trying to prevent the next takeover and keep their community safe.
Why are they all running? That's what I want to know. Why are they all running? What you think about this, guy? The young people. Happy Easter, cuz. The young people out there, they trying to do their stuff or do their thing for spring break, but but some of the stuff, the fighting, the burning vehicles and destroying property,
the Kool-Aid challenges and all that stuff, like
some of that stuff is a bit in excess.
I think they need to be prosecuted, right, and aggressively too, and for no other reason than the fact that for what we saw just now, when Shorty got bad, she was on some old I'm gonna go home, and it's like, nah, it's too late for that.
Yeah, you going to jail.
What he said? He said we got places for people like you, right? Like, yeah, and it's not the crib. You don't get to go home now that you got caught. right? Man,
that's it. But that's what happened. Now let's have this conversation. Is this from bad parenting, or is this from just disrespectful children?
So I say that we live in a society that encourages bad parenting, right? Like once the laws changed.
Blessings, Paul.
Bless up, Paul. Like for me, like once the laws change and children were able to blatantly call the police on their parents when the laws changed and parents had to decide if spanking this child was going to be disciplined or abuse. I think that fear was put in so many parents to where they were scared to parent. And I feel like it was a social thing that was done on purpose so that we can have this happening, so that they have people to send to the military so that we don't need to do a draft.
Hold up. Slow down. They don't raise the age limit to damn near geezer. To damn near geezer. Look, and I'm calling myself a geezer, but they don't raise the enlisted limit to damn near geezer. And I don't know, God. That's a
but you don't necessarily need them if you got all this youthful energy. Right, like you got all this youth.
Yeah, but the young people are not leaning towards joining. Not as many as.
That's why I say. But if they get locked up and now they get in front of a judge, because because people keep talking that draft talk, I foresee we'll get back to a state where judges are offering military time over prison time before we actually get to a draft
for minor offenses. Yeah,
and all of that is minor offenses that we saw, right? Like
all that fighting and stuff. They just need
the fighting, even the knocking over fences, even the vandalism and all that stuff. Yes, it's damaging, but it's kiddie stuff, right? It's minor things that's not really meant to cause real long-lasting harm.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a judge sending all those children a choice: hey, Marine Corps or spot.
You throwing them right into the grease.
Yeah, bro.
Marine Corps, Army. Which one? Pick one.
Catch a bullet over here. Catch a bullet over here.
Or jail.
Or jail. You know? Like what you trying to do with yourself?
Which one you want to do?
Because clearly your parents' words, if your parents gave you words, weren't impactful enough for you to listen to them, for you to make a different choice, right? And society is soft enough where it's like, they give you enough rope to let you hang yourself.
Man, I heard somebody say children will be children. And I was just like, wow. I was like, children will be children. What about the parental discipline that, like, no children going to do what their parents tell them to do? Or that don't apply no more? Does that not apply no more? That's just out the window. So I guess then they have to just resort to, kids will be kids.
Yeah, because
why should I keep having to tell them to do something that's not gonna listen
anyway?
That's wrong when they not gonna listen to me either. So I can't tell them nothing. So we know you can't tell them nothing. So the only person who can tell them something,
Daddy, and go with him, right?
So you might as well crash out like Pooh Daddy, right? And then like Senior, or you go to or they get locked up, and then you put your house up and everything, and then you start this whole
free so and so.
This whole cycle, this whole cycle of where they know they're gonna be held accountable in the street, but if they know somebody who gonna come be a rescue ranger every single time, then they're not gonna listen to you when you are sharing good advice for them.
Correct.
And wanting them to make better choices So that way they don't have to use your resources for things like this, like bond money and lawyer fees. Yeah, it's crazy.
It could be a wedding gift instead.
It could be a down payment on the property that we're gonna invest in, right? Yeah, it could be paying your tuition for a trade school or something like that. And then, it could, I mean, we could just go down the list of all the things that bond money, lawyer fee money.
It could be that box truck that you've been waiting. It could have been that semi. It could be anything, man. Yeah.
All that foolishness. Let's see what we got right here. Is it really a cigar podcast? Go funny me looking for nice Christian podcasts who are nice as you. Hey, look, we love Jesus over here, man. But this is a Paul. We know you pulled up. You just knew this is a cigar podcast because we smoking on words, and you are smoking on words with two big nerds. And our word that we smoking on tonight is struggle. Okay, and right now we doing a flavor bomb segment where we go over some trending topics or some news topics. So we appreciate you for pulling up. Make sure to smash that like button. We're gonna keep on. As long as you keep commenting, we're gonna keep commenting back with you. All right, you got the chat turned up. Let's go ahead and get into our last flavor bomb.
A Black woman who moved from the U.S. to Russia to escape discrimination and racism revealed on social media that the entire plan...
Yes, a Black woman left America to go to Russia to escape racism. And this is her sad face in Russia. This is what Russia did. Now, I will say this. When she left,
man, she was pretty.
When she left, this was on U.S. and so in the U.S., they ain't do you like that, boo. That's all I'm saying. Let's watch this.
Entire plan backfired on her in a disturbing way. Francine Villa was born in Russia but moved to the U.S. with her family when she was a kid. In a heartbreaking video, Francine claims that both she and her baby were brutally attacked by racist neighbors in Moscow. She detailed the alleged assault on Instagram. Now, the fact that the attack occurred in her homeland is an extra painful blow. Villa had previously spoken about her move in the 2020 documentary.
You know why this happened? Not just because Russia got some racist people. There was no man.
Documentary back in the USSR, which aired on the Russian state media channel RT. Villa said that her great-grandfather George Tynes, who hails from Virginia, worked as an agriculturalist after moving to the Soviet Union in the 1930s. Now, much of her family still lives there, but at a young age, she moved with her mother to the United States. It was there that she spent most of her life until experiencing what she described as a traumatizing experience with police. Villa explained in the documentary that she'd approached officers for help during an emergency, but that they turned on her instead, throwing her to the ground. It was then that she decided it was time to leave. That was back in 2019. Here is how she explained it. Quote, "Why did I make up my mind to move to Russia? I wanted to leave a country where I was facing discrimination. After a year living in Moscow, she told RT, quote, I feel free living in Russia because in Russia, no matter what time it is, I can walk outside and I'm safe." 5 years later, that proved to be a fantasy. Following the alleged attack, Villa took to Instagram with blood still on her face, saying a couple in her apartment building beat her with fists while she was with her 2-year-old and yelled racial slurs at her in Russian. In edited footage shared by Villa of the incident, the couple can be seen arguing with her in the hallway of her building, threatening to throw out her belongings while she was seemingly blocked from entering her own apartment.
She said, "Why are you speaking to me in an informal tone? Like you, like she's supposed to be addressing her in some form of like noble royalty or something like that. Super crazy, right?
Напугает моего ребенка. Кого? Он пуганный плачет, бедняжка, да, зайка, ты плачешь, да? Плачешь, зайка?
Now, she accuses her neighbors of changing the locks, cutting off the electricity, and even tossing her baby's stroller down the stairs. She also claims her child was left with bruises following the incident. In footage taken from a hospital, Villa can be seen weeping in distress in the aftermath of this alleged attack. She says she's filed complaints to the police, but claims they aren't helping or responding.
She says she filed with the police over there and ain't nothing happening.
I got a couple things, God. So the first thing, I ain't like the idea that is not that it wasn't a fantasy or that it was a bad idea. Because one thing happened after 5 years. I don't know if you can just throw the whole thing away.
What you said? What after 5 years? Yeah, hell yeah, it's tossed away. Your record is no longer clean.
I don't know, God. Like, but that's just, I don't know. Like, that's just an incident. Like, because I'm looking at that situation, and I'm asking myself, she got her baby out there in her arms. Why in the hell are you arguing with this man that's bigger than you and his wife? Why are you arguing with this woman with your baby in your hands? Like, why are you not trying to get away and get safe? Because
they was blocking her from getting to her apartment. That's part of what they were saying in that particular scenario.
Getting into the apartment. I'm talking about getting out the building and going and getting safe. That's what I mean about because I don't know, like, it's like, you know, had she stayed in America a little while longer, she would have recognized what danger looked like, and she would have had to make a choice. You either got to jump in their shit or run away. Like, you can't stand there with your child in your hand and then want to get into a fight.
I don't think she wanted to get into
verbally.
It didn't even look like she was fighting. It just looked like she was pleading, like, "Can y'all just move so I can get in my building?"
And I'm saying that when your child is in your hand like that and you ain't got hands, like, if you ain't got no way to protect you and your child, the only way to protect them, yourself and your child, is to run away, right? To stand there and go back and forth when you're so vulnerable. I don't jack that and rock that or support that at all. I get it. She's trying to get into her apartment that she's paying for. I get that. I'm tracking that.
However, a black woman, with no man,
it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like,
with no man,
she ain't got no hands. She ain't got no mace. She ain't got no gun. She ain't got
forget
no
about
man.
this. Forget about the having a weapon or a tool. She already is a black, and it's not attacking her as a woman or her blackness. As a black woman, she already Americanized. She's already over there with no man. She already is a single mother trying to raise. That's some American construct. Single women households are American constructs. All right. It's not that it don't happen in other countries, but it's not as much. Okay. That's something that happens over here. And especially in the African American community. Oh, it was part of that trauma, that struggle thing that was that was forced struggle, right? Correct. So she's taking that over there already. I get what you're saying, God, but that's what they do. You ain't gonna tell me this, blah, 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 all that. Like, you really ready? Like now you become a victim when you get punched in the mouth because everybody ain't gonna be with that. Everybody ain't gonna be with all that, you know. So I think it was laughable, like it was in the beginning, to say that I'm gonna leave America to go to Russia.
Go to Russia
for less racism.
You mean the ex-USSR, Russia? You about to leave that whole fucking Soviet Union fucking, like there's a whole fucking thing over there, like of them and their discrimination and their racism and their fucking Russia.
Right. And let me say this for the fact, like, I don't approve of punching on any women at all. Okay? None. Zero. In this situation, we looking at the factors that led up to it. And like the guy was saying, like, your first, it should have been flight. It should not have been fight. She should have been able to recognize that I'm outnumbered here in this situation.
I'm outgunned here.
You
I
know,
gotta get safe.
So I got to get safe. And what I'm saying is that Americanized, modern Black woman kicked in.
Got shaking her neck and
right.
She talk about
She got the clapping and neck gapping. You know what I'm saying? And then
Ivan motherfucker put the 1-2s on her and shit.
You know, and then she got boom bop. And then, you know, now everybody's racist in Russia. But like you said, she did have a 5-year run, but I think it ended. I do think it ended. I think no, it was like, we let you cool for a minute, but now it's welcome to Russia.
Now it's welcome to Russia.
You know, and we think it was horrible that had to happen to her and her child, though. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been getting mistreated all over the planet. You know, like, it's not a secret. But because like the guy said, you know, that's insane. Are we safe anywhere? You know, in your skin. Okay.
Yeah, and to your point, God, like in your skin, like you gotta make yourself safe, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to, like, I don't know, man. The beauty of growing up in the hood, right? I got to identify what danger looks like and feels like, right? Like, you call it a spider sense, call it a sixth sense, whatever. You call it cowardice, whatever you want to call it, right? I got to recognize what danger looks like, and you get to make a choice. Go back to that thing. You get to make a choice. Am I gonna sit in this, or am I gonna get safe, right? And I'm anti anybody with that got babies or children that's doing a whole lot of talking. I think that if you have a young person like that, the mindset that you should have is, we are so vulnerable right now. I gotta go really, really, really hard and super aggressive, or I gotta run really, really, really fast and get away because this child cannot have my back. In fact, this little person is why I'm about to get the, you know, we say boom back, right? Because I can't fight and, you know,
and protect your child.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, you can't fight and hold the and make. You can't block. You can lay over top of the baby, but then you crushing the baby, right?
That's what I'm saying, guys.
So I mean, what you gonna do? Like, and that's what I'm talking about. Just like, people struggle with conflict resolution. People struggle with emotional intelligence. Struggling with de-escalating situations. You know. And I think all of that played a part right there in that situation with her choices. And that's, you know, because the only thing to do was to remove herself from the situation as much as she could, you know, to not get beat up. So it's unfortunate. Definitely. That was that. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the live chat or the comment section below. And yeah.
You've just been Flavor Bomb, and now back to our show.
So yeah, y'all, we are smoking on the word struggle for tonight, and we have been going through our questions, and we are at our fifth and final, last but never least question. Is the word struggle bad, good, or misunderstood? Let us know in the live chat or in the comment section below. The God Ali Dawood at BK Soul Farm.
Yeah, so I actually like the way that the word was defined, right? I think that it was defined well. But I don't think that as society, as a culture, I guess, culturally, I don't think we use it well. I think we use it too flippantly, and I think we lean into the romanticizing of the struggle. I think by saying things, by even having things like a black card or hood passes and stuff like that.
Street codes.
Sure, you know, or thinking that they're street codes or whatever. I think that adds to the confusion of the struggle versus a struggle, right? And people play with those words because it's fun to play with words and to debate, right? And
it's cool to be ignorant.
It's cool to be ignorant, right? And like, well, technically, well, if you look at it like this, and I'm like, yeah, but they got a definition that we can just agree to accept the definition.
Right. The technically people. Well, technically, no, there ain't no technically. Literally, what does the law say?
What does the law say, right?
You know.
So yeah, I like the definition. I think that we do use it correctly, but it is greatly misunderstood in society due to the romanticization of it.
Due to the romanticization. Yeah. Due to the romanticizing of the struggle, the God says that it's misunderstood. Definitely agree with that. And you said you also like the definition too. Yeah, I enjoyed the definition, learning the definition of struggle tonight, because it gives me a new outlook on my meaning and now understanding how to apply it correctly, you know, and how not to stay stuck in it. Understand when I'm in a struggle and knowing that it is defined by having success at the end. You know, so
that's so profound.
You know, so for that I say it's good because you know, but it's also those misunderstood for those things that you were saying, you know, but I'm gonna give it the trifecta, you know. I'm gonna give it the bad too, because of the label that the meaning that and the stigma that we attach to it.
Yeah. Because
we don't study the definition to understand the good, that there's success at the end of the struggle. Struggle is not supposed to be permanent. We'll be just stuck in the struggle forever. You know, like if you're struggling, it's case by case, you know, because everything shouldn't be a struggle. So, you know, so because it's case by case, like, you know, we're going to have things that require a little bit more of our attention, a little bit more of our time and effort to be able to get to that goal, to that success, versus some things that may be a little bit more fluid or maybe a little bit more easy. So definitely, y'all, we had struggle tonight. And yeah, we had 5 questions. What do you think of when you hear the word struggle? Does American culture romanticize struggle? If yes or no, explain. Is there a difference between choosing to struggle and for struggle? Can holding on to struggle become an identity instead of a lesson, and why? And is the word struggle bad, good, or misunderstood? Y'all let us know in the comment section below. We always are going to respond and exchange insights with you. We want to thank everybody who pulled up. We got we got a lot of people in the building tonight. We had Sean Mack 42 47 26 25. We had Hey, then we had Chris Mack in here too. 9604. We had Paul in here from Norway. Who else we had? We had Lovely ATV. Lil Bug, Big Bug. What up, baby? You know, so we want to appreciate all y'all and thank all of you for pulling up and hanging out with us tonight. And hopefully, you know, you enjoyed the podcast and you got some value out of it. Make sure to smash that like button, hit the notification, and subscribe to the channel so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays live. Like we always say, y'all, we are not the gurus, but if you found something that you like during this smoke, please pick it up and take a toke. If not, leave something in the ashtray for somebody else when they come by. We want everybody to have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week, and happy Easter to everybody. Whatever your God is, give thanks for something. You know, you don't need the Easter bunny and some chocolate eggs or nothing like that. The Easter bunnies don't lay eggs. You know, but
that's so mean that they make us think that though. It's
you
so
know,
mean.
but a Cadbury in the middle of spring won't hurt your teeth. You know, it won't hurt your teeth. You know, but yeah, y'all have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week, and we'll see y'all next time right here Sunday at 8 p.m. East Coast time. Myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the guy Ali Dawoodale at BK So Farm, and we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksofarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube. If it's Friday night and you don't have a date, then brunch with the fellas is your spot, so don't be late. We go up at 9 p.m. with the trending topic news. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. Don't be rude at Brunch Fellas, now streaming on YouTube. You are the key to your financial freedom, so unlock your inner wealth with financial fundamentals at Bows on the Table. Subscribe today and never miss a meal at Bows Podcast. Bows on the Table, now streaming on YouTube. At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at DBCHEFTV.com.